Hi, welcome back to Sunshine Hollow. It's been a minute. We've been really busy around here with market and the flower season, and I totally overestimated the amount of time that I would be able to spend documenting it all, which is great because I was in real life moments. But something really sweet that I think is worth sharing happened here on the farm a couple weeks ago. This little chick came into our lives. Okay, hi buddy. This little chick was hatched in our incubator. We took out 10 beautiful eggs and put them in our incubator, hoping for 10 beautiful little chicks to add to our flock. And only one hatched. And it was this little one. And I was panicking, wondering what I was going to do with this one little chick. They really rely on each other for warmth and really just will to live. And so I brought it up here to the barn where we had a brooder set up. And I was going to put this little guy in the brooder, but I ended up smashing the light in my efforts to get him in. And the circuit breaker in the barn blew. And I just had this little tiny minute-old chick, no, more like hour-old chick, that I didn't know what to do with. So I reached into the nesting box and tucked him under this broody hen that we have. And she has been a perfect mother ever since. And the two of them are living happily in this little corner of the chicken coop. It's something that just inherently makes sense, right? Like chicks hatch, mothers raise chicks all the time. It's just a normal thing, but in our society, we've made it that we go out and buy baby chicks every year, and they have nothing to do with their mother. So seeing this whole process of her just tucking this little chick under her wing and teaching it how to eat and drink and scratch, and he jumps onto her back, and it's just really precious. And I'm really glad I had this moment in time to see what this is really like, and it kind of inspires us to let our girls maybe sit on some eggs and hatch out babies of their own. And yeah, I'm just really thankful for this experience and that it turned out positively. And now we have an extra little baby chick. I also wanted to just update everyone on the goats. All of our goats should be pregnant right now and due to kid in the next month. So we're getting prepared for that. The colors are changing. Everything is just really beautiful and lovely around here. This view of the goat pasture is one of my favorites. You can see this locust tree is starting to turn yellow. There's beautiful fog coming off the hills, beautiful green pasture, and 3 gorgeous goaty girls. Hi, girls. This here, can't remember if I've introduced you. Oh, this is Prim. This is my milking goat. She's in milk right now. She's been in milk since February of 2020, and she's a doll. That's Java. Java's very round and pregnant. Java got pregnant on accident. She was not supposed to be pregnant, as she's only a little over a year old and very small. So we're a little worried about what her birth is going to bring. But, let nature take its course. This behind view here is Sugar. You can see her teats are starting to bag up a little bit, which means the baby's coming sooner than later. These are just my pride and joy. I'm harvesting mint. It's beautiful. It's starting to flower. It's gorgeous where it is. I'll turn the camera around so you can see, but for all my childhood, when I walk past this spot, you can just sense the aroma of mint as soon as you walk by. And I would always ask Mom, can I have a piece? And she would always say, yeah, go ahead. And I would pick a little sprig of mint and chew on it and come back and get more. And this has always been the spot since I was little. Everyone is here to help me harvest mint. We're all very excited about it. But this is one of our many ponds, and the mint just grows abundantly all along it. Inside the dike here, just a little bit, it grows into the water, which is amazing and beautiful as well. But this is what it looks like when it's flowering. Beautiful little purple individual flowers. I just did mini butternut harvest. My favorite thing to grow, I would say, is probably winter squash. I love growing winter squash. It tests my patience like no other crop. You put it in June after the last frost, and you wait till pretty much right before the first frost to harvest them. So it's a long waiting game, but oh boy, do they pay off. I am like completely obsessed with winter squash. I love everything about winter squash. The hardiness, the soups you can make. You can just throw them into anything, and they store really well all season long, so that you can go ahead and grow more next season. So this was the patch that the mini butternuts came from, and there's a story among this patch. This goat shed that you see up here was actually right here for a little while, and before we even got our goats this season, we had baby chicks, and the baby chickens ran and played in this little patch right here. We had them fenced in, and when we got the goats, we moved the chickens out and put the goats on this spot. So both animals have worked this spot. I'm a huge believer in the fact that in farming, diversity is key, and we're all meant to work together, us humans, the animals, and the plants, and we thrive when we all work together. And this little patch of volunteer squash confirms that belief for me in every single way. So in the beginning of the season, when we ran those baby chickens and the goats on this spot, I was able to feed them the seed from this butternut squash. I work at a seed company, and we had seed that wasn't passing germ, and so it was sent home with me to feed the animals. And I fed the animals and scattered seed all over the place when I was feeding them, and they ingested seed, and whether it passed through their digestive system or not, it ended up in beautiful contact with the soil and grew these amazing volunteer squashes. Just the most amazing squash I've ever seen. So vibrant. There was like 3 or 4 fruit on every vine, and they're still flowering and fruiting to this day, and there's already been a frost. So I am just like blown away by this. And I think the key factor in all this, in the success of this, was really that the chickens were dropping feces on this spot. We can call it compost. Feces freaks people out sometimes, but the chickens were dropping their compost onto this spot, and then the goats were dropping theirs. And they eat different things. Chickens are after proteins, so when they drop their droppings, their poop is a lot different in the nutrients that it drops. Chickens have waste that is high in nitrogen, which can often burn plants if you put it straight down on plants. But goats are eating vegetation all day, and likely high in phosphorus and other micronutrients that the chickens don't necessarily get. So I think that the two of their feces combined made the best fertilizer that anyone could ever imagine. And let these butternuts tell the story. So the cool thing about winter squash, I'm not sure with this variety specifically, but with winter squash, you can pick it when it's not quite ready yet. I mean, I have a huge stack of ready butternuts here, but there's some beautiful fruit that just wasn't quite ready. You can see it's green and striped still. But there's a possibility if I bring this in as it cures, it's going to ripen. So I'm just going to bring it in and I'll let you know what happens. But no loss on my part either way. Look, here's a immature little fruit that was starting. And I'm taking this little bit of the vine with it because if the vine is green, there's still sugars being produced, and those sugars will transfer to this fruit here in a last effort to create more life, as any species would do. It's hopeful that maybe this squash will mature a little bit and I'll get a whole nother winter squash to enjoy. Thanks for hanging out for this little update of the farm. Some other exciting things will be coming to the farm, and the goats will have babies, so there'll be a lot more to share soon in the future. Anyway, like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.